Anna walked slowly along the quiet road with her daughter Lily holding her hand, and the cold air touched their faces and the sound of distant cars faded behind them, and Anna tried to keep her steps steady even though her body felt tired and weak, and Lily looked up at her mother with eyes full of trust, and Anna felt a deep pain mixed with love inside her heart, and she reminded herself that she must stay strong because Lily depended on her, and the world had not been kind to them, but she believed that kindness still existed somewhere. For many months Anna and Lily had lived without a real home, and each day felt like a long test of patience and courage, and shelters offered short rest but never peace, and nights were often filled with worry and silent tears, and Anna remembered a time when life felt simple and safe, and she remembered sitting in a small kitchen with warm food and laughter, and those memories felt distant, but they pushed her forward instead of pulling her back. Anna had grown up in a quiet rural town where fields stretched far and neighbors greeted each other kindly, and her parents worked long days and taught her honesty and care, and when they passed away, Anna left the town believing the city would give her a better future, and at first she found work and hope, and then one problem followed another, and slowly everything slipped away, and Lily was born during that storm of loss and change, and from that moment, Anna lived only for her child. One early morning while waiting outside a shelter, Anna was asked to come inside, and a woman handed her an envelope with her name written clearly, and Anna felt confused because letters never came for her, and inside the envelope was a message from a lawyer explaining that a distant relative had passed away and left behind an old farm, and Anna read the letter many times because the words felt unreal, and the idea of owning land felt impossible for someone who had slept on benches and floors. The letter explained that the farm had been ignored for years and many people believed it held no value, and the lawyer said Anna was the only family member who could claim it, and Anna felt fear and hope collide inside her, and she worried about traveling far and starting over again, but she also knew that staying where she was meant more struggle and less future for Lily, and she chose to believe that this was not an accident. With help from kind workers, Anna and Lily boarded a long bus ride, and the city slowly disappeared behind them, and tall buildings turned into open fields, and Lily pressed her face to the window watching clouds move freely across the sky, and Anna saw joy in her daughter's smile, and felt her chest tighten because it had been so long since Lily looked that carefree, and Anna whispered that this place might be their new beginning. When they arrived at the farm, the silence felt heavy but peaceful, and the land stretched wide with dry soil and old corn stalks standing like memories from another time, and the house stood tired but proud, and its walls showed signs of age but not defeat, and Anna felt unsure yet drawn to the place as if it had been waiting for her all along, and Lily squeezed her hand and asked if they could stay, and Anna answered with a quiet yes. The house smelled of dust and old wood, and sunlight slipped through broken curtains and painted soft shapes on the floor, and Anna walked slowly through each room imagining a table for meals and a bed for Lily, and warmth returning to the walls, and Lily explored with curiosity and laughter, and every small sound echoed through the house reminding Anna that life was returning to a space long forgotten. Behind the house stood a large wooden corn crib, and its boards were dark and worn, and it stood silent near the edge of the field, and Anna noticed it, but felt no reason to go near it yet, and the wind moved gently through the dry corn, and created soft whispers that made the farm feel alive and watching, and Anna felt both comforted and uneasy without understanding why. That night, Anna laid blankets on the floor and held Lily close as the wind brushed against the house, and the sounds of the farm filled the darkness, and Anna stared at the ceiling thinking about the road that led her here, and she wondered why this forgotten farm had been given to her, and whether it was a gift or a test, and she reminded herself that she had survived worse and that this place already felt safer than the streets. As the moonlight touched the land, the corn crib stood quietly in the distance holding secrets buried by time and neglect, and Anna closed her eyes unaware that her life was about to change in ways she could not imagine, and hope rested softly beside her in the shape of her sleeping daughter, and the farm waited patiently for the truth to be uncovered. Morning arrived gently over the farm and soft light touched the old walls of the house, and Anna woke before Lily because years of worry had trained her body to rise early, and she listened to the quiet sounds of the land and felt a strange calm settle in her chest, and for the first time in a long while she did not feel rushed or afraid of being asked to leave. Anna stepped outside and breathed in the cool air, and the smell of earth felt grounding and real, and she looked across the fields noticing how wide the land truly was, and the corn stalks stood dry and pale but strong, and the wind moved through them like a slow breath, and Anna realized that this land had survived many seasons and perhaps it could survive again. She spent the morning cleaning the house with simple tools left behind, and every sweep of dust felt like a small victory, and Lily helped by gathering old papers and broken pieces of wood, and turning work into play, and laughter filled the rooms, and Anna felt something lift inside her as if the house itself was responding to their presence. Later that day Anna walked the land to understand what she now owned, and she followed a narrow path along the field and noticed old fence posts leaning but still standing, and she imagined repairing them one day, and growing food, and giving Lily a childhood closer to nature than fear, and the idea felt both heavy and hopeful. The corn crib stood quietly near the edge of the field, and Anna felt drawn to it without knowing why, and it looked larger up close, and the wood was rough and dark, and marked by time, and she placed her hand on one of the boards, and felt a chill, even though the sun was warm, and something about the structure felt different from the rest of the farm. Anna opened the door slowly, and the hinges complained softly, and inside the air smelled old and still, and light slipped through narrow gaps in the walls, and dust floated gently, and she saw empty spaces where corn once rested and signs of careful construction, and she wondered why so much effort had gone into a building that now seemed forgotten. She noticed the floor felt uneven in places, and she stepped carefully, and her foot brushed against something hard beneath the dirt and straw, and she knelt down curious and moved her hand across the surface and felt a smooth edge that did not belong to wood or soil, and her heart began to beat faster, though she did not yet understand why. Anna stood back up and told herself not to imagine things, and she reminded herself that old farms held many strange details, and she closed the door deciding to return later with better light and tools, and as she walked away she felt the strange sense that the corn crib was watching her leave. That evening Lily asked questions about the farm and whether they would stay forever, and Anna answered honestly that she did not know, but she promised that she would try to make this place a true home, and Lily nodded and smiled, trusting her mother completely, and that trust gave Anna strength and fear at the same time. Days passed and Anna worked steadily repairing what she could, and neighbors from distant farms noticed movement on the land, and one older man stopped by to greet her, and he spoke kindly but with curiosity, and he mentioned that the farm had been empty for a long time, and that strange stories had once surrounded it, and Anna listened carefully though he did not explain further. At night, Anna thought about the uneven floor in the corn crib, and the neighbor's words, and she lay awake listening to the wind and the sounds of the land, and she felt that the farm held memories that had not faded, and she wondered if the past had reached out to her through that letter. One afternoon while Lily rested, Anna returned to the corn crib with a small shovel, and courage she did not know she had, and she worked slowly moving dirt and straw, and revealing a section of floor that was clearly different, and her hands shook as she cleared more space, and she uncovered a wooden panel with metal edges carefully fitted into the ground. Anna sat back breathing deeply, and fear mixed with curiosity, and she thought about leaving it untouched, but another part of her felt certain that this discovery was not meant to be ignored, and she whispered to herself that truth often waits for those who are willing to face it. She tried to lift the panel, but it was heavy and required effort, and after several attempts she managed to raise it just enough to see darkness beneath, and a rush of cool air rose from below, and Anna quickly closed it again because Lily was nearby, and she did not want to risk danger without preparation. That night, Anna dreamed of long rows of corn and hidden paths beneath the soil and voices calling softly, and when she woke she felt certain that the farm held something important, and that it had chosen this moment to reveal itself. The following morning Anna decided to seek answers, and she visited the small town nearby and spoke to an old clerk who remembered the land and the family who once owned it, and the clerk hesitated before speaking, and said that the previous owner had been private and careful and known for guarding secrets, and Anna felt her pulse quicken as pieces began to connect. Returning to the farm, Anna looked again at the corn crib, and felt a sense of responsibility settle over her, and whatever was hidden there had been protected for years, and now it was part of her story, and she knew that uncovering it would change her life and Lily's future in ways she could not yet measure. As the sun set over the fields, Anna stood beside the corn crib and placed her hand on the door once more, and this time she felt no fear, only determination, and the land seemed to breathe with her, and the farm no longer felt abandoned, but alive and waiting, and the next step would bring truth into the open. The morning air felt heavier than usual as Anna stood near the corn crib and watched the light slowly rise over the fields, and she felt a deep sense of purpose settle inside her, and she knew that the time for waiting had passed, and whatever was hidden beneath the old wood floor needed to be faced with care and courage, and she reminded herself that every hard moment in her life had prepared her for this one. Anna asked Lily to stay inside the house and play near the window, and she explained gently that she needed to fix something outside, and Lily agreed without question and trusted her mother completely, and Anna felt that familiar mix of love and responsibility push her forward, and she picked up her tools and walked toward the corn crib with steady steps. Inside the corn crib the air was cool and still, and sunlight cut through the cracks in the walls, and dust floated softly, and Anna knelt again at the uneven floor and brushed away the loose dirt and straw, and the hidden panel appeared clearly now, and it looked carefully made and solid, and far too deliberate to be ignored, and Anna took a deep breath before lifting it again. The panel opened with effort and revealed a narrow set of wooden steps leading downward, and Anna felt her heart beat faster, but she did not panic, and instead she focused on breathing and staying calm, and she lowered herself slowly onto the steps and held a small light in her hand, and the sound of the farm faded as she moved deeper below the surface. The space beneath the corn crib was larger than she expected, and the walls were lined with old wooden supports, and the ground was dry and firm, and the air smelled clean but unused, and Anna realized that someone had taken great care to build this hidden room and to keep it safe from time and weather. As Anna moved further inside, she saw several wooden chests placed neatly against one wall, and each chest was sealed and marked with simple symbols, and her hands trembled slightly as she touched one, and she felt the weight of history pressing down on her, and she wondered how many years these chests had waited in silence. She opened the first chest slowly, and inside she found neatly folded papers tied with string, and the pages were yellowed but protected, and she picked one up and began to read, and the words told the story of the farm and the people who once lived there, and they spoke of hard work, careful planning, and quiet preparation for uncertain times. The letters explained that the farm owner had feared losing everything due to outside pressure and rising debts, and instead of leaving wealth exposed, he had hidden important records and valuable items beneath the corn crib, trusting that the land itself would guard them, and that only someone connected by blood and respect would one day uncover the truth. Anna felt tears gather as she read, because the words spoke of hope and patience and belief in the future, and she felt as if the writer had been speaking directly to her across time, and she realized that this inheritance was not only about land, but about trust and responsibility. In another chest, Anna found old tools made with care and precision, and small objects wrapped in cloth, and she understood that these were items meant to preserve the farm and rebuild it when the right moment arrived, and she felt overwhelmed by the thought that she had arrived at exactly that moment. She did not rush, and instead she took time to read and understand everything, and she carefully placed the items back as she found them, and promised herself that she would protect them and use them wisely, and when she climbed back up into the light she felt changed and grounded and stronger than before. Anna closed the hidden space and covered it carefully, knowing that it was now her duty to keep it safe, and she stepped outside and felt the warmth of the sun on her face, and the farm no longer felt mysterious or heavy but familiar and welcoming, as if it had accepted her fully. Lily ran toward her from the house smiling and asking questions, and Anna hugged her tightly and told her that the farm had a long story and that they were now part of it, and Lily laughed and said that it sounded like an adventure, and Anna smiled because she realized that for Lily this place would always mean possibility instead of fear. Over the following days, Anna began to plan with clarity and focus, and she studied the land and the records and learned how the farm once thrived, and she spoke with neighbors and asked careful questions, and she earned their respect through honesty and effort, and slowly the sense of isolation faded. The farm began to change as repairs continued, and fields were cleared, and the house felt warmer and more alive, and Anna worked hard, but she no longer felt alone or lost, and every step felt meaningful and connected to a future she could now imagine clearly. At night, Anna would sit on the porch and watch the stars and think about how close she had been to giving up in the past, and she felt grateful that she had kept moving forward even when the path was dark, and she understood that the hidden room beneath the corn crib was not just a physical space but a symbol of unseen strength waiting to be discovered. The land responded to care and patience, and small signs of renewal appeared, and Anna felt proud knowing that Lily would grow up with stability and truth, and that the past had guided them toward a better life rather than holding them back. As the weeks passed, Anna felt a deep sense of peace settle into her routine, and she knew that the final chapter of this journey was still ahead, and that one more step would fully reveal what the farm was meant to become, and she prepared herself quietly for that moment with confidence and gratitude. The seasons slowly shifted as weeks passed, and the farm responded to steady care and patient hands, and Anna woke each morning with purpose and calm, and the fear that once followed her steps had faded into quiet determination, and Lily grew stronger and happier with each day spent running through open fields and learning the rhythm of the land. Anna used the records she found to guide her work, and she followed notes written long ago about soil care and crop rotation and water flow, and she respected the wisdom left behind and treated it like a promise instead of a prize, and neighbors noticed her effort and began to offer advice and tools and friendly conversation. The farm that once felt forgotten now felt connected to the surrounding land and people, and Anna welcomed help with gratitude and gave back through kindness and honesty, and Lily watched these exchanges closely and learned what it meant to belong to a community and to build trust step by step. One afternoon, a group of neighbors gathered near the corn crib and spoke about restoring the fields together, and they listened when Anna shared the history she had uncovered, and they understood that the land had always been meant to support many lives and not just one, and a shared sense of purpose grew among them. With guidance and teamwork, the fields were prepared, and seeds were planted, and the soil welcomed new life, and Anna felt pride watching green shoots rise from the ground, and Lily clapped with joy every time she spotted something new growing, and the farm slowly transformed from a place of survival into a place of growth. Anna chose to reveal the hidden space beneath the corn crib only to those she trusted deeply, and she explained that it was not about wealth but about responsibility and preserving knowledge, and everyone respected her choice and saw the value of patience and care in her decisions. As harvest time approached, the farm buzzed with activity and laughter, and shared meals and stories, and Anna felt something she had not felt in years, and that was stability, and the knowledge that tomorrow no longer felt uncertain or frightening. Lily started attending a small local school and came home each day with stories and questions and dreams, and Anna listened carefully and supported every curiosity and watched her daughter grow with confidence and hope instead of fear. One evening Anna stood near the corn crib as the sun set, and she reflected on how close she had been to losing everything and how the road had led her here through hardship and faith, and she realized that the true gift of the farm was not what was hidden beneath it, but what it allowed her to build above it. The hidden room remained protected and undisturbed, and Anna visited it only when needed, and each time she felt gratitude instead of wonder, and she understood that some things are meant to guide quietly rather than shine openly. Over time, the farm became known as a place of learning and renewal, and travelers stopped to ask questions and share stories, and Anna welcomed them with warmth and boundaries, and the land continued to thrive through respect rather than rush. Lily grew into a child who understood effort and empathy, and she often helped Anna tend the garden and care for animals, and she learned that life could be kind when treated with patience and honesty. Years passed, and the farm stood strong and alive, and Anna looked back on her journey with clarity, and she no longer defined herself by the hardship she escaped but by the future she created and protected. On a quiet morning, Anna and Lily walked together through the fields, and Lily asked how the farm had chosen them, and Anna smiled and explained that sometimes places wait for the right people just as people wait for the right place, and Lily nodded as if she understood something important. The corn crib stood firm and weathered and peaceful, and no longer felt mysterious or heavy, and it felt like a guardian of memory and intention, and Anna felt at peace knowing that the past and future had found balance there. As the sun rose higher, Anna felt grateful for every step that led her forward and every moment that taught her resilience, and she knew that no matter what challenges came next, she and Lily would face them with strength built from truth and care. The farm continued to grow and give, and Anna continued to lead with humility and purpose, and Lily continued to dream freely, and together they proved that even the most forgotten places can become foundations for hope when met with courage and patience. The journey that began with loss and uncertainty ended with belonging and meaning, and the land that once hid its story now stood open and alive, and Anna knew that this was not an ending but a beginning rooted deeply in trust and renewal.